What is up, and welcome to Tech Shit with Face, the new sub-series on the channel where I go over the tech that we use to make our videos. Let's get started. So, on this episode, we're going to go over the cameras that we use, and also the lenses. And yes, I did say cameras, so let's get to it. We use the Panasonic GH4. It's a pretty epic little mirrorless camera. Released in 2014, it was the first mirrorless camera to start shooting 4K, and for a little hybrid camera, it's got some amazing video features, and let's talk about it. So you can shoot 4K, you have so many different codec options, and it's just great. And it has some pretty good capabilities. Autofocus is barely one of them, as you can see right now. And shoots 4K. It's got some decent recording options, MP4, MOV, different type of MP4 that I don't use. And it's just great. For a starter camera, for our purposes, it was awesome. Although it does have some odd shortcomings. Alright, so for the camera's shortcomings, it only has a few that kind of go against its general awesomeness. One is that it's a micro four thirds camera. And what that means is it has a 2x crop factor on its lenses. So, say for example, you take this 50mm and I put it on this camera, you would have this crazy close-in image of my face. Like, that's only a 50mm, but on this camera it actually equals 100. So that's a bit of a awkward issue, but it still works and I love it anyway. So let's get back to the lens that we should be using. Now that's more like it. So, another shortcoming of the camera, it has okay low light performance. I mean, it hasn't been an issue for us because most of our videos have been pretty well lit, but for the most part, if you're gonna shoot low light, try and at least, get some lighting in there because the noise is going to be pretty awful. And one other thing, there's a weird quality control issue on this particular one, the American version, and not the international version, where the mode dial will start just changing for no reason, even though I'm not changing it. And sometimes I just have to cycle it a few times or turn the camera off. Oddly enough though, when I start recording, it doesn't happen, but when I'm idling with the camera, it does. So I'm not entirely sure what that's all about, but it is what it is. All right, now time for the real fun part. Time to talk about the lenses we use. And first off, we're gonna talk about the workhorse lens, the Tamron 19-35. Now this lens here has shot almost a good chunk of everything you've seen on the channel, except for this video. And oh my goodness, it's just an amazing little lens for a kit lens even. And I'm gonna throw some shots over when I'm talking so you can see the kind of stuff that it's shot and what it looks like up close. But it's just a fantastic little lens. Like, the range is pretty decent, 19-35. Even though it's an f3.5, I really love this lens. I love the look that it produces, and it's honestly, it was the first lens that we started using seriously in our videos, because before we had it, we weren't even shooting. I could not be any more happy with it. Next up is my favorite lens, honestly. If you thought I was excited about that other lens, this one right here, this is my favorite right here. We got the Tokina 28-70. Now this lens right here is just absolutely perfect for video, because 28-70, good range. It's like the perfect range to have for video, and this particular model of it is just epic. Like, it's internally focusing, internally zooming, and has almost no focus breathing. And it's f2.8 constant throughout the zoom range. And with the speed booster, it just becomes the perfect little lens for video, because it changes from 28-70, which on this camera would equal 56 to 140, to 40 to 100, which is the perfect range for video. And honestly, I'm so glad that I got both of these, because without it, our videos would just lose a piece of quality that we couldn't live without. And now for the last lens, which is the one that's filming right now, is the Olympus 14-42. Now, it's the only lens that I have that's actually made for micro four thirds, seeing as all the rest of these lenses I use via adapter. And it's pretty solid. I mean, it's just a kit lens, so variable aperture and mild range, but the fact that it autofocuses and is actually made for my camera, it's great, because it has this extra sharpness to it that makes it look really good. A prime example of this was when I did the fridge POV shot in Pizza War, one of the best shots in the entire film, don't at me. And you can see that that shot looks super crisp, and this looks super crisp too. And that's because the lens has certain coatings on it to make it look extra sharp and nice. And overall, this is a lens that I don't use too much, but when I do, it's pretty solid. So, in conclusion, I would say that for a starter camera, the GH4 is okay. As a starter camera, it's pretty solid. Although, if you do know what you're doing, I would say skip past this, save up some more, and go straight to the GH5, because that camera, it's like if you think this camera is good and you know what it does, that camera is this on crack. So with that, I hope you enjoyed the first episode of Tech Shit with Face, and we'll be back with more. But for now, tune in for Fire Fridays with Homer this coming Friday. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to click that like button. Don't forget to click that subscribe. And best yet, don't forget to click that bell so you get notified when we post. See you guys next time.